they supposed to say?
That bitch was tight.
Good. Great. Do you have any plans?
Oh, that was silly of me. I didn't have my camera on. I'm booming it straight from the beginning. Hello, everybody. Did y'all like my intro? I had to use my new video. Yay! Oh my God, it's day one of the trial rewatch. Well, I'm not calling it a trial rewatch. I'm calling it a review, a 2024 review. Yeah, Sean, thanks a lot. I ain't a rookie. I've been doing this a bit now. But you know what? I got all comfy because that was quite a long intro. And I was like, oh yeah, no problem. La 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 la. I don't need to have my camera on. And I was like, oh, oops. Hello, exclaimer. Hi. Christina's here. Oh, yes. It's so nice to see people coming in already. Do we have a Dali raid already? Do we? Now, did you like my poll? My poll says, have you liked the stream? Yeah, nah, or nah, yeah. If you remember, you can actually use the, after you've pressed the like, by the way, you can then use the little emojis to say yeah, nah, or nah, yeah. Hey, Colleen. Oh, we have a Dali raid. Yay. Hey, John Gary. Hey, Stray. Hey, Sue. And I'm leaving my guests just sitting there in the backstage because why not? Now I'll let them in. Hey, guys.
Well, I'm here. Sal said he'll be right back.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he just did.
You know what? I'll put myself down there because I've got these overlays here, and you never show your face. So anyway, you can have the overlays over you.
All the lovely red.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome. This is so exciting. Oh, yes. Now, members get to use the cool emojis. And if you're not an Aussie and you're not aware of the vernacular, yeah, nah means no, and nah, yeah means yes. And if you want to use them, you got to become a member. And the link to the memberships is up pinned to the top of the chat. Join up because memberships are the way that I keep this channel going. Or you can super chat me, or you can do both. Or you can give some people some memberships. That'd be fun too. Oh my God, this trial, I cannot wait. People have been telling me bits and pieces about it. People have been, you especially, Bill, you have been telling me bits and pieces about it. And Vilhammer, I have to thank you in advance because guess what Vil has done? Vil, tell us. What have you done?
I went and fixed all the audio for these.
You're a little bit low. Your audio is a bit low.
I went and fixed all the audio for these. That is what I did.
Oh, yay.
And
check him out. What a dude.
Yep. So I am actually working on the last day right now. It's rendering.
Wow, that's fantastic. And we got to thank Dali for doing the coverage of the interrogations. So if you haven't watched the interrogations, go back onto Dali's channel. Slightly ironic, Bill Hammer having low volume. Yeah, it is a bit ironic, isn't it? So if you're not subscribed to Bill Hammer's channel, please subscribe to him. We need to get him to 500. Toot sweet, because the dude is just a legend. He helps everybody with court coverage because the court coverage audio coming out of the mainstream channels like Law and Crime and Court TV, I gotta say, is pretty garbage, and he fixes it for everybody. So yes, he is an audio pleasure. Straight, would you mind, please, if you wouldn't mind, or Young, one of my mods, would you please put up Bill Hammer's link? That would be fantastic. And Dali, most of you guys have just come over straight from Dali's chat, but if you haven't, or if you haven't caught both of the 2 interrogations, the first one of Gypsy Rose and the second one today of Nick Godejohn, the defendant in the trial today, pop over and have a look at those 2 interrogations. They're pretty fascinating, especially the one today was a bit eye-opening.
Mhm.
Yes. Okay, let's not waste any time, guys. Let's get into it.
There's something that I would like to add before you start.
Yeah.
So, the person that you saw in the interrogation video, if you were just there, and the
Yeah.
mugshots that you have seen, does
Mhm.
not look like the same person who's sitting in court. Just so you know,
Oh, no.
it looks like a very, very different person who has a
Yeah.
very, very different mental disability than what we think he has. So, yeah, just so
Yeah.
everybody's aware, it is the same dude who, if you just
Right.
watched the interrogation, it is the same guy, but it does not look like him.
Oh, Bill, were you going to share to screen your copy of this?
Oh, I think Sal was gonna do it.
Oh, he's not here.
Yeah, because it's rendering.
Oh, you mean the opening statement? Fine, I'll do it.
Yeah,
That's fine.
the opening statement. Because you said you can't see the prosecution one, right?
No,
I wonder
that's
if
fine.
see the link directly. If you can grab it.
It's fine.
I got it.
Oh,
I'm going to present.
Sal's
Oh,
back.
he's there.
I'm gonna whip it
Hello,
out.
He's
Mister.
gonna
Can you please
whip
whip it out? Thank you. We have a little bit of an issue in that there's one particular video that in Australia hidden from me.
Yes.
So I don't know why. There's sometimes videos that are in the US region I can't see in Australia.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know
So-
why.
It looks like it's just the opening for Veal's feed for whatever.
Yeah.
It's just the opening.
It's just the
Um,
prosecution.
I can't see the opening.
It's
Hide
just
the
the
opening from
prosecution
me.
one. So if
I'm
anybody's
going-
in Australia
Yeah.
and you're trying to watch the playlist, like
I think
you're not
it'll
gonna
work
see
for the-
prosecution one.
I think it'll work for the law and crime feed, so I'm going to try that just for the opening.
No, I've got
Or-
the law and crime feed.
Yeah, it's for
Well, I'm
whatever
just
reason
worried
mine's being
about-
copywritten.
There being copyright issues, and it.
No, it'll be fine. Could you please
Okay.
try and run the law,
Fine.
run Veals?
Gosh.
Yeah, but if
God, woman, stop following me around.
if you are in Australia and you're trying to watch it and you can't see the
Yeah.
video, that is why it's
That
for
might be
some
why.
stupid reason mine is being copywritten in some countries, and Australia is one of them. Don't know why, but it is because I'm
Australia.
using the exact same thing that the other people had.
It happens. It does happen. Okay, because which one? Who am I?
I'm doing it. I'm
who's
pulling it up
sharing?
right now.
Okay, I'm
And
impatient. All right, we have people.
this is not the opening though.
No, I know. That's me sharing.
Oh,
so,
that's you. Okay.
Yeah, so there's Dali taking over the screen now.
Rawr.
May it please the court. Yes.
Oh,
Okay,
that'd
so
be
thank you, Bill, for
Outside
doing this. Much
Of
appreciated.
Claudine Blanchard's bedroom door stood
Okay.
the defendant,
Could we please maximize?
dressed in all black,
I'm getting there.
wearing blue latex gloves.
Could we play
Holding a
Jensen?
knife.
Could we play bingo for Jensen's interrogation video? Yeah,
For the defendant,
that'd be great.
he was in
Good
love
idea.
with Gypsy Blanchard, Claudine's daughter. And as he stood there, the only thing that stood between him being with Gypsy was Claudine. And so he stood there holding that knife for a
Do you
minute,
like my background, guys?
considering
Bitch is dead.
and deliberating the murder of Claudine Blanchard.
Wait, what?
But this was not the first time the defendant
which judge?
deliberated.
Who's judge?
Before he got to the house and walked in the front door, he was handed the blue gloves and the knife. And he deliberated. In his words, he had two
How's the
thoughts.
volume?
A benevolent thought that he described as an angel, just take Gypsy and run, and a malevolent thought, a devil
Mads.
on the other shoulder that said, "The
But I
bitch
didn't
is dead."
ejaculate.
Even that wasn't the first time the defendant deliberated. Hours before getting to the house,
If anyone
He
here
sat
comes into chat, we're
in
going to have
his
to
hotel
explain
room
that
as
joke.
Explain it to him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a joke from the last stream with
Yeah.
the detective.
Yeah,
Yeah.
During his
It's like-
interrogation, she asked him like 100 times.
If he
Did
finished.
you come?
But
Did you come?
But did you ejaculate?
Did you?
And he
And when
couldn't.
did you come? And how did you
He
come?
never
And where
did.
did you come?
After you got done
He's in.
surgery, did you ejaculate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Texting Gypsy, making sure
Oh, thanks,
everything
Dave.
was ready,
Or Justin, sorry.
making sure the knife was ready, the gloves, duct tape, telling Gypsy that he was planning on wearing a scary outfit that would scare Claudine, and telling Gypsy not to underestimate his will to kill. That wasn't the first time the defendant deliberated.
His will to kill.
36 hours prior, knowing he was coming to Springfield to murder Claudine. That bus stopped in 3 different cities as the defendant sat on it, knowing he was coming to Springfield to murder
But he wasn't.
Claudine. That
But he
wasn't
wasn't coming.
the first time the defendant deliberated. It was a year prior when the defendant, while speaking with his girlfriend Gypsy, was first introduced to the idea of killing
Oh, we did.
Claudine Blanchard a year prior. And the evidence will show that although it was
Oops. Oh, no, that's me now.
Gypsy's idea,
Sweet.
it was the defendant's deliberation that led to him standing outside of Claudine's bedroom door with gloves on, dressed in black, holding a knife, and thinking the bitch is dead. And the evidence will
That's
show
not my
that after
comment.
that deliberation on June 10th of 2015,
Dali.
he entered that bedroom and stabbed Claudine Blanchard to death. Back in June of 2015, Claudine Blanchard lived at 2103 West Volunteer Way with her daughter, Gypsy. And on June 14th of 2015, neighbors and friends of Claudine and Gypsy became concerned because they saw a Facebook post. It was posted on a joint account that Gypsy and Claudine shared, and the post hinted that Claudine was dead and that Gypsy had been raped. These neighbors and concerned friends, they go to the house, nobody's answering, so they end up calling the Greene County Sheriff's Office. They respond. They're not able to get anyone to come to the door. Eventually, they make entry to the
Just pause for a
house.
sec, Dali.
There's no sign of Gypsy,
No.
but Claudine Blanchard.
Just pause, please. Hey, Haiti, how's it going? I met you on Twitter yesterday. And if any of your friends are here, let us know if you recognize anyone. Haiti is new to us, and she knows this case really, really well. And also, if you know anything that you want to add to this, please go ahead. Welcome. Get to know everybody else in chat.
Yep.
Haiti is I'm not gonna go ahead and just like tell everybody exactly like your stance on this, but let's just say that Haiti might be a little bit sus on the whole Gypsy Rose side of this.
Yeah.
So, and we just, by the way, Haiti, we just watched Nick Godejohn's interrogation, and it, like, I don't know. Don't be scared of us, half Irish. Half Irish says, no, I don't think Haiti's going to be scared of us. We're a bit of a degenerate crew, let's just say. And also, if you hear us say, are you going to come? Or is he going to ejaculate? That's because we just watched the interrogation. And the lady was constantly saying to Nick Godejohn about him ejaculating all the time. So it's an ongoing joke right now.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
We tend to sort of stick to these things a little bit, so don't judge us. But welcome, Haiti. Thank you for coming. We appreciate it.
Phrasing.
Blanchard is found in the back bedroom, dead, face down, blood-soaked nightgown with multiple stab
Hey, Fast Group.
Yeah.
The police then try to determine who made this Facebook post. And they end up determining that it was made from a residence all the way in Waukesha County, Wisconsin, a residence that's associated with Nicholas Godejohn. At this point in the investigation, the police don't know if Gypsy's
Dali,
also a
stop
victim, if she's
using
alive,
the
if
chat.
she's dead, and they don't know who Nicholas Godejohn is.
There's a glitch in StreamYard where I'm not doing it intentionally, but I go to just respond and it posts as EU, and it's really frustrating. So I apologize.
That was not my chat. I just watched it
No.
2 minutes ago, Sue. That was not me.
Yeah,
that
she
was
did not watch
Dali.
it. I did.
But knowing that that's the location where the Facebook post originated, they coordinate with the Waukesha County Sheriff's Office, who ends up serving a search warrant on that residence, and they find the defendant, Nicholas Godejohn, and they find Gypsy. To their surprise, Gypsy was not injured. She was not being held captive. They, for the first time, find out that Gypsy is there willingly as the defendant's girlfriend.
Aww.
And that's this relationship between the defendant and Gypsy Blanchard becomes known after Claudine is dead. Both Gypsy and the defendant, you will hear a lot about their relationship. And it's bizarre. It starts in October of 2012 when they meet on Christian Dating for Free, an online site. And within just a few days of talking to each other, they decide to become committed. And they carry on for almost 3 years in almost exclusively online relationship,
Hey, we've all
where
been there.
they communicate over Facebook, Yahoo Messenger, and Skype. You're going to hear about and see some of the dynamics of this relationship and how it started to become very sexual. And they introduced fantasy role playing into their relationship. They each developed alter egos, evil sides, and they would fantasy role play with one another while talking about sexual things using these alter egos. Eventually, the defendant learns that Gypsy, who he initially knew was in a wheelchair, didn't have to be in one. He learns that Gypsy is not.
Did you want to play that judge video or just
Yeah. Okay, just breaking news, guys. I know that this is interrupting the trial, but it'll only take legit
2
1
minutes?
minute.
Yeah. If that.
What is this?
If that. I don't know if anyone's seen this, but this is just legit news. Watch this.
Yeah.
Watch
I
this.
appreciate that, but I think it's time that he gets a taste of something else because I just can't with that history. In accordance with the laws of the state of Nevada, this court.
Whoa!
Wow.
Holy hell!
Wow. What in the actual hell?
God damn!
Get off her! Get off her! Oh, man, you're good. You're good. Stop.
I don't know where what Nevada is it?
Where's all the cops?
Is she okay?
Who was that? Why was that?
What?
Boo!
Like, what happened? Like,
The volume, let me just restart it. The volume was really low in the beginning.
Okay, one more time.
That, but I think it's time that he gets a taste of something else because I just can't with that history. In accordance with the laws of the state of Nevada, this court.
Oh, he just, hey, that was a dive. could be a high jumper.
Like, was this like? Do we know anything about the case?
I don't.
No, we don't.
This
Nothing.
just happened today, I think.
Because like that's, I don't know. They were like missing a
Judge
lot of
Mary Kay
context.
Holthus. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. We just wanted to show you because it just came up.
Yeah.
Somewhat
And that like
irritating.
jumping over the desk was really impressive, though. I gotta say,
Yeah,
he really
That-
got some height.
He could.
got
He
some
got.
height.
He must be an Olympian.
Yeah. I've never really
Wow,
seen like
okay.
a defendant get close to a judge before. And he really closed that gap. Anyways, we'll find out more
If
about
we
it.
find
if
out more information, we'll bring it to you later. Yeah, but wow,
Yeah.
just thought you might like to see it
Interesting.
once we're live.
And he learns that Claudine is never going to let Gypsy be with him. And it is around that time, back in May of 2014, a year before the murder, that Gypsy first introduces the idea to the defendant about killing her mom. And that idea is what culminates in the defendant ultimately standing outside of Claudine's door with that knife. And it was after deliberation, after considering alternatives. They considered alternative ways to be together. First, trying to get Claudine to like the defendant,
Aw.
or even trying to get Gypsy pregnant.
It's always good for your mother-in-law to like you.
Okay,
But
so
Always
ultimately,
good to
after
try and get
considering those alternatives,
Just to get the mother-in-law to like you too.
the defendant's deliberation
I have some
ended
information
in Claudine.
Oh,
Oh, you
on
have
that
something to say?
case.
oh, you
Yeah. So apparently he's a 3-time felon, the guy who attacked her, and she had just denied his probation.
Mhm.
And so that is when he attacked her. Apparently he was just denied his probation, and he jumped across the
Wow.
table.
I think he's
So-
going to get more time.
I think he's going to get a little bit of time, for that, because
Just a
apparently,
little.
Yeah, I've seen like
Wow.
defendants go after judges, run at them, charge, try to like go around the desk.
yeah, because
But
it
then
says,
Yeah.
oh, go ahead.
No, the bailiffs can like. There's time for the bailiffs to get there and jump in front of the judge. He
Yeah.
just went straight over the desk and
Well,
just
here-
landed
so
on her.
Here's the
you
stupid
can
part of
jump,
why
so you
there
might as
wasn't
well.
more people in the courtroom. He was present inside the courtroom for sentencing on a charge of attempted battery with substantially bodily harm. So
Oh.
it's like, why weren't there other people there? Like, because
Yeah,
little
there was no.
homeboy in the
bailiffs.
back wasn't going to do anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All right, we need to
Anyways.
get back to the
So
trial.
anyway.
Claudine's murder.
Wait.
Once the defendant and Gypsy are found in Waukesha County, they're taken to the sheriff's office there,
Hey, Rabbit.
and the defendant's taken to an interview room. And he sits there for a long time because he has to wait for detectives from the Greene County Sheriff's Office to fly in. Eventually, Detective Angela Mahoney with the Greene County Sheriff's Office arrives, and she goes in and interviews the defendant. And you're going to see that interview. And throughout this week, what you're going to see is that the defendant eventually, he confesses to premeditation, confesses to deliberation, confesses to murder. But what you're going to also see is that all of the evidence that's found at the crime scene, it matches his confession. All of the evidence that's found in Waukesha County matches his confession, and everything else in between. Eventually, after giving
Welcome to
Detective
chat.
Mahoney a pre-planned lie that he and Gypsy had come up with,
Miss
he
Becky
looks
Boo
at
has
her.
got it out.
he takes a minute and he says, "I'll admit it. I actually did stab her. I'll admit it." And he admits that he did it, not to save Gypsy, but so that they could be together. And from there, he walks the detective through what happened.
I'll say.
How Gypsy had given him money to take a Greyhound bus from
Should not be able to
Wisconsin
ejaculate.
to Springfield. That he goes and he stays at the Days Inn to get ready, and you'll see surveillance video of the Days Inn. You'll see him checking in, and eventually the defendant gets a cab that takes him from his hotel room to the residence at 2103 West Volunteer Way.
Wow.
Oh Lord,
Nice to
another
have you
Aussie.
here, Dave. Another Aussie and a lawyer too. I
Gosh,
need Aussie lawyers, but
yes.
not just for my own business. But I need them as guests on my channel if they're
Yes.
interested, but also just to hang out in chat and things like that.
Oh,
So
Nice to see you again, Liz.
awesome. It's great to have you here, Dave Bass. And I hope you hang
Happened
about.
last Saturday night.
Yeah, for what happens last Saturday night. It's fun. Paralegal Liz is here. Oh, did you get my email, Paralegal Liz?
He texts Gypsy that he's there. She meets him at the door with the blue latex gloves and the knife. He tells her to get to the bathroom, lock herself in there.
That's romantic.
And now we arrive where I began, where he's standing outside of her door with the knife. Except he
Wow.
describes what happens after. That after that minute, his final deliberation, his final reflection, he goes inside. She's sleeping on her stomach. He straddles her and he begins to stab her multiple times in the back, and he cuts the back of her neck. He describes stabbing her approximately 4 times.
Yeah, there's a couple of breaks in the audio.
Yeah.
Going deeper than
Comes back.
others because the knife is getting harder to pull back. He can tell that he punctures a lung. And that matches the autopsy that ultimately reveals that Claudine didn't have 4. She had 17 stab wounds
No,
to her back,
4, 5,
to the back of her
17.
neck,
Who's
and
counting?
she had deep cuts to her neck that went all the way to the vertebrae of her neck. The defendant describes her screaming and some statements that he made to her as he's murdering her. Then he talks about afterwards the fact that he went and got Gypsy from the bathroom and that they began to clean up. He adds that he asked Gypsy to clean up the blood naked because that turned him on. And that after cleaning up, as Claudine's dead, knife-ridden body is laying in her bedroom, the defendant and Gypsy
Riddled,
actually go into
not
Gypsy's
ridden.
room and have sex. They then
Don't ejaculate.
ultimately pack up, take a taxi to the Days Inn, a Greyhound to Wisconsin, and that's
Scott.
ultimately where they're found. Before they get on that Greyhound
What is
bus,
the
they
judge
take the
doing?
knife and they take those blue latex gloves and they actually go to the post office, put them in an envelope, and mail them to the defendant's residence in Wisconsin so they don't get caught on the bus with it. And that matches what's found in the defendant's room in Wisconsin. They find the envelope with the knife, the gloves, that ends up having Claudine's DNA on the blade and a mixture of the defendant, Gypsy, and Claudine's DNA on the hand.
Sorry.
You'll
Sean.
see this confession. You'll hear the physical evidence. You'll see how everything matches up. Ultimately, what is going to tie it together is the online
Jesus H. Christ.
persona and the online world
Okay, Dave, you'll
that the
fit in really well
defendant and
here.
Gypsy lived in. Computers were seized, cell
That's what she
phones were
said.
seized, and you get the full picture by reading and hearing the defendant's conversations, not with police, when he didn't think people were listening. You see that about a year prior, he talks on Facebook with a friend about their plan to kill Claudine, and that they're going to put it off for a while and try a different approach. They're going to first see if the defendant can meet Claudine and maybe she'll like him. Well, that doesn't work.
Well, that's nice. I
They
mean,
also
it was
talk
last
more about
resort.
this idea to maybe get Gypsy pregnant. That doesn't work. The killing was always supposed to be the last resort. But then by May of 2015,
Well, that should at least get him life with parole. I mean, it was a last resort.
Yeah. I mean, they tried a bunch of other things first.
Yeah, he's not a monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I mean, he tried
After
getting some and
I know.
tried being
tried
nice.
bringing
to
a baby in the world.
mom.
Hey, you mean
Yeah, I
warrior?
mean, they tried other
Tried
things
giving her a
first.
grandkid.
Yeah, I mean, it should have worked.
I know.
But
It's her fault.
because he didn't ejaculate.
Okay, so that's why there wasn't a baby.
Exactly. That's why they couldn't have a
Oh, they
baby.
didn't use the turkey-based method.
Well,
I
no,
know. Oh,
if you remember, she asked him specifically about the bathroom if he ejaculated, and he said no,
I don't think he's able to.
Oh, that's
which
right.
is probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Probably a good thing.
Maybe
Yeah, imagine
nature-
if they had a child together. Okay,
Maybe there is a God to prevent that.
maybe.
Yeah.
Hang on. Oh, hang on.
reflecting on these all.
So there was a plan A. There was a plan C too.
Yes, there was a plan A. I think was the trying to get her to like him.
Yeah.
Plan B
Plan
was I
B.
think the pregnancy thing, and Plan C
Mm.
was the unaliving.
PPU thing. Stabby.
Yeah. There might have been another one in there. I don't remember, but there I know
Yeah.
there was several.
Alternatives. The defendant's computer search history shows
Oh God.
he had already reflected and he had deliberated and he had agreed and chose to murder.
Keep trying, Dave Bass.
He searches for bondage tape, tasers, knives, tactical
It is
knives,
ironic.
a jungle primitive knife, a SEAL team knife. And then lastly, you'll see the text messages between the defendant and Gypsy from about 2 weeks prior to the murder, all the way up until he is standing out of the door. And what you're going to see and what the evidence will show is that, yes, this was Gypsy's idea, but the defendant on June 10th was ready to kill, and these texts show he was enjoying it. He was looking forward to it. He was excited about it. You'll see text messages while he's waiting in his hotel room, waiting to take the cab to murder Claudine, that yes, Gypsy's idea, but it's the defendant who's texting Gypsy saying, making sure he knows where the address is, making sure the knife and the gloves are ready. It's the defendant who asks if the floor squeaks, if Claudine is a heavy or a light sleeper. When Gypsy responds to him, she's a light sleeper, he says he's getting excited. It's the defendant that texts he's going to wear an outfit that will scare Claudine.
What?
It's
Like a
the
giant carrot or
defendant
something?
that suggests
He's gonna wear
he's
one of
going to
those
finish
inflatable T-Rex
Claudine no matter
costumes.
what, and not to underestimate his will to kill.
I want to know what the costume was.
And you'll see those texts go all the way up to where he's standing outside of the door and he tells Gypsy to come. And lastly, you'll hear an interview the defendant did with the media in January of this year, where he describes what his thought process was as he stood outside the door, ready to kill Claudine. And he describes deliberately that we will ask you to find him guilty of first-degree murder. Thank you.
Yeah, there's something weird with the court feed, and then it happens at the opening for the defense too. There's something
Yeah.
weird with the court feed.
Something
Okay.
weird, indeed.
Yeah,
All right, so I will put on. Where are we? So now defense opening statements. I will share that. So share
Yes.
this
Oh, you got
chat.
it?
yeah, it
Yeah,
was just the
but
prosecution one that was an issue.
Yeah. So I should be able to just make that full screen now. Hang on, go full screen.
Oh, that poor guy.
But
You have it muted too.
I know.
It helps if you unmute
Oh.
it, sweetie.
There you go.
A 9-minute open. Yeah. Wow. Well,
May it please the court. Good morning.
Sweetie darling.
you go full screen.
Nicholas, Godejohn stabbed and killed Ms. Claudine Blanchard. We're not contesting that. We're here because the state has charged Nick with murder in the first degree. You'll hear some evidence that Nick was autistic and perhaps he was unable to form the necessary intent to commit murder in the first degree. When everything's said and done, I ask that you find Nick not guilty of murder in the first degree and consider other means of
Or
homicide.
Hottie Biscotti.
Now, Nick didn't come into this world like most of us. He was born in the spring of 1989.
Oh, that is really annoying,
His
isn't it?
umbilical cord wrapped around his neck.
It's not as bad as
His
it was.
tiny
Though.
brain was deprived of oxygen, and his family knew that there were going to be developmental delays. Nick went to school, an elementary school. He was diagnosed
It only
with
goes for
autism.
9 minutes, guys. So this crackle goes on.
Nick was raised by his mother, a single mother at the time, who
Only like the
went
first.
through boyfriends back and forth. She worked several jobs to try to make ends meet, but she didn't give Nick the emotional support he
Missouri?
needed. She was often absent, wasn't there.
We're throwing Mama Bear
Nick's
on the
time
list?
was spent on the internet. He stayed in an upstairs bedroom on Cherry Street, Big Bend, Wisconsin, and that was his outlet to the world. And while on that computer, he met Gypsy Blanchard over 2012 on a
He
Christian
did say
dating
his
site.
tiny brain. He did.
Wasn't too long before they were in love. Nick loved Gypsy with all his heart.
And something else.
Now, Nick was autistic.
His heart.
He
had a different
was,
perception of the world.
or he is.
And Gypsy knew he was autistic. She accepted that.
Oh, she got
Nick
that.
knew that Gypsy was in a wheelchair, and he accepted that. But it didn't take too long for Nick to learn from Gypsy that she didn't need to be in that wheelchair. And this is what the world was led to believe. Gypsy's mother kept her in this condition for charity, sympathy, attention, money, for a number of reasons. Gypsy was held captive in this wheelchair. At one point in time, I believe in 2011, Gypsy tried to escape. She left the house walking without her wheelchair, made a phone call, and had a friend pick her up. Didn't take too long for Claudine Blanchard, Dee Dee, Gypsy's mother, to pick her up. Gypsy was taken home. She was chained to the bed. She was beaten with clothes hangers. Gypsy was not allowed to leave her mother. She wasn't allowed to be free. And she wanted a relationship outside of her home. She wanted a relationship with Nick.
Well, yeah. She's a bit of a root rat, to be honest.
They talked about
I
her
understand what that
Remember
means.
the year before it happened, but Gypsy formulated another plan. Why don't I try to bring you into my life, introduce you, my mom will get to know you, and we'll go from there. Gypsy stole some money from her mom, sent it to Nick, purchased a bus ticket. Nick drove down on a bus from Wisconsin for the first time in 2015, in March of 2015, and stayed in a hotel that Gypsy paid for. Now, the idea was that they were going to go to an IMAX movie. They're going to go see Cinderella together. And they did. They both met there at the movie theater, talked to one another as if they'd never met before, like they didn't have any idea who each other was. And Gypsy's hope was that she would bond with this man in front of her mother, develop a friendship, and that her mother would accept that. Ultimately, they sat next to one another during that movie, and eventually they were able to get out of the theater. They went into the men's room and had sexual
We'll be
intercourse.
talking about that all day, Haiti.
They went back into the theater. Gypsy's mother made sure they didn't sit next to one another. And Gypsy was heartbroken. She wanted her mom to accept Nick, and her mom described Nick as creepy. Gypsy knew there was only one way she was going to be able to spend a life with Nick. There was only one way to get out from under the grasp of her mother, and that was to kill her mother. Gypsy formulated this plan And she wavered on it. For a while, she was committed to it. Later, she decided, no, that's not the right thing. Nick was happy to do whatever Gypsy wanted. He was always compliant. And finally, Gypsy said, it's getting worse here. This has to be done. She stole some more money from her mother, provided that to Nick to come down on a bus and stay in a hotel. She stole a knife from Walmart so that Nick could use that as the murder weapon, and provided Nick with gloves and tape and everything he would need to go through with her plan. Nick arrived there at the house. The knife was ready, gloves were ready, tape was ready. He entered that home, saw Gypsy standing there. A girl who could walk, not someone active in a wheelchair. Looking around the living room, there were wheelchairs. The devices that found her. And Nick went through Gypsy's plan.
I think he's enjoying himself so far.
Before they left town, they mailed the knife back to Wisconsin. Gypsy got everything ready for that. They put Gypsy's address there on Volunteer Way as the return address. They dropped it in the mail. And they went to Wisconsin. Once they got to Wisconsin, Gypsy put a Facebook post on a shared account, an account she shared with her mother that said, the bitch is dead, et cetera, et cetera. The goal there, and Gypsy will tell you this, was that she wanted her mother's body to be found. She wanted her mother to have a proper burial.
Oh.
And Gypsy
Welcome new members. We have Justin Smith, Bill Hammer. You couldn't join on your own, Bill Hammer. Really?
Am I not joined on you?
Pardon?
I said, am I not already? I thought I was.
No, you weren't. Little
Well,
Peanut, Rothman Ranch. And who else? Do we have one more?
Rosman,
One?
Justin Smith,
Oh, Scott. Scott McGinnis.
Scott. Yeah.
Yay, Scott, Justin, Bill Hammer, Little Peanut, and Rosamund Rent. Yay, we have new members. And David, what would you say? I don't know how to get my own membership. David, you have your own channel. You have nearly 5,000 subscribers and goodness knows how many members. And I know because I've seen you buy many memberships to other channels. You do know how to get your own membership. In fact, Stray, would you like to just show David how to go buy his own membership? Point him in the direction of buying his own membership. Thank you. Yes, David, you do know. There you go. Oh, Stray's showing off all the emojis. Yay! You're all very welcome. You're all very, very welcome. And you are encouraged, everybody else, you're encouraged to purchase your own membership. And those who have been gifted a membership, you're very much encouraged to sign up for more months of membership once that expires. So there's lots and lots of membership perks. And I just did a live yesterday that was telling people, you're very welcome, Justin, that was telling people all about updates to how this trial is going to run. And the day before, everyone was made aware that this trial was even happening. So yes, I'm very much hoping that you all enjoy it.
She will also tell you that she never thought she would be caught, that people would just forget about her, that they would bury her mom, and the world would move on. Before she left the house, she stole approximately $5,000 from her mom that her mom kept in the house in cash. Her goal was to start a new life with that. Her and Nick would live off that money for a while, then start a family together.
Oh, that's nice, David. Thank you. So,
You're going to hear testimony about Nick's autism.
I knew you would be, David.
You're probably going to hear from a couple of doctors who are going to tell you Nick is autistic. He has a low IQ.
Oh,
He
here we go.
suffers from cognitive disabilities.
And, you
And in
can't
the end,
exactly-
folks, you're going to understand the dynamics of this case.
Stupid.
That Nick wasn't able to formulate the necessary mental state to commit murder in the first degree. I expect you'll find Nick not guilty of murder in the first degree. And you will have the opportunity to consider lesser degrees of homicide. I ask that you keep an open mind, and I appreciate your attention this morning.
This is, like, I know that this is a long time ago, this trial, but we've seen every trial we watched lately seems to be, oh, the defendant was quite stupid.
This is what started it all.
This is just a recurring theme lately. The defendant has to sit there and be told what people be told, like, how dumb it is.
Yes, sir. The state calls Deputy Mike Robertson. Deputy Robertson.
But that guy looks like John Oliver.
Come on up. Folks here.
Come on out.
Have a seat up here, okay?
The lawyer.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give in the cause outstanding for the court
Yes.
will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. Keep your voice up and face the jury, okay?
Unlike Nick, he was premature.
Say your name for the record, please.
Michael Lee Robertson.
How are you employed?
I'm a Greene County Sheriff Deputy.
How long have you worked for the sheriff's
It's almost 18 years.
What is your current assignment?
I work with our civil division now.
What does that mean? It's in general.
We do protection orders, various civil papers, evictions, writ body attachments, which are warrants, things like that.
Is that a job you sought within the sheriff's office?
Mm-hmm.
Just on that, Haiti, David's in chat. He could give you more information on that. Making law simple. If you can see his name just below you in chat. We're part of a network called Making Law Simple Network, so we have access to lawyers who weigh in whenever we have questions, legal questions. But just on that, so was his last statement not considered leading by saying he expects them to find him not guilty? No, we hear that a lot in opening statements by the defense. So and it's not leading when it's an opening statement. So leading happens when they are questioning.
Only on direct examination.
Yeah. So
and they call their own witness.
And that's objectionable. So you can't be leading someone on direct. So no, they absolutely always, well, not always, but generally say, we expect you to find the defendant not guilty. And it's up to the jury to decide whether or not they're going to find the defendant not guilty. Also, the opening statements aren't testimony. So the jury is told, it's not evidence. So the jury is told in the jury instructions, which we didn't watch, by the way. The jury instructions are terribly boring. But the jury is told that anything that the lawyers say is not to be considered evidence. And
now you can't argue what you think the evidence will show in the case.
Correct.
But you can, like, it's a roadmap, a guide, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. So if David has anything more to add to that, I'm sure he'll type it into chat. But
or
usually
he could get his ass on stream. But
he could get his ass on stream because he does have a link. But that's fine if he does, if he's busy.
Yes.
But yeah, if we have any more questions that we can't answer, he generally either sends us a message or calls in or gets his ass on stream.
Yes. Thank you, David.
Thank you. Cool.
Oh, and Armand, you got to say yes or no.
Yes, sir.
We're at part-time backing down. That's normally thought. What did you do for the sheriff's office in June of 2015?
I was a patrol deputy.
Could you talk to the jury a little bit about what the duties of a patrol deputy are?
Various functions, criminal investigation, some accident, traffic investigations, or traffic stops, or things like that. It's about things that are generally what it is, you know, working cases and taking initial reports for cases and stuff like that.
Responding to 911 dispatches.
Yes.
Oh, thank
Well, I take you back to June 14th of 2015. On that day in the afternoon, did you have an occasion to be dispatched to 2103 West Volunteer Way?
Yes.
Is that a location here in Greene County?
Yes.
What was it that caused you to be dispatched to that location?
It came out as a check of well-being for two residents in that, two individuals in that residence.
And was there something about in the notes, in the dispatch notes about why you were going there to check the well-being of the residents?
Yes, something about Facebook posts that friends of the two individuals had received, stating that they had possibly been raped and murdered, or either or.
And so did you respond to that location?
Yes, sir.
Were there other deputies who responded there with you?
Yes, sir.
But did they come?
I'll get a full question for the answer.
Did they come? They did. Yeah, for Karen Reed. Good for you, Scott. Thanks for being here.
Good for you.
Debbie Robertson, I'm going to show you a series of photos here that are marked. You can see they're marked on the back of the state's exhibit sticker. The state's exhibits 1,
There's some
2,
questions about that.
3,
in that-
4, and 5. If you just take a moment and look at those.
Welcome. Nice to have you here. She does look a bit like Miss Becky.
Debbie Robertson, in general, what are we looking at in state's exhibits 1 through 5?
The residents in which I responded to.
At 2103 West Volunteer Way?
Yes.
And I noticed there's some crime scene tape in some of those pictures.
Yes.
And that would not have been there when you arrived.
No, sir.
Other than that, you state exhibits 1 through 5 fairly and accurately depict the exterior of the residence?
Yes.
I'd move to admit state exhibits 1 through 5.
No objection, Your Honor.
That'll be admitted without objection.
I'm glad you're having fun, HC.
Can you see that, Debbie?
Yes, sir.
And everyone see the screen?
Together. Cool.
Can you all see it okay? All right.
When you got to, well, we put the first picture. Let's look at state's exhibit 1 here. Is that the residence we've been discussing?
Yes.
The pink one with the white railings and ramps?
Yes.
When you got to that location, what did you find?
The vehicle in question sitting in the driveway, and it looked just pretty much like that.
When you say the vehicle, you're talking about the Nissan Cube there?
Yes.
And was there anyone there when you got there?
They were friends of the family there that initially made the 911 call.
And did you speak with them?
It was real brief, but Deputy Hughes spoke to them most of the time.
Did you check the residence to see if you could locate Claudine Blanchard and Gypsy Blanchard?
Yes.
Can you describe what you did to do that?
We checked the windows to see, and the door to see if there was any forced entry or any broken windows. We couldn't see them because the windows were blacked out. But we didn't see any signs of forced entry or anything like that.
And did you just check the front windows there and door? Or did you check other parts of the residence?
We checked all the windows.
And so now looking at State's Exhibit 2, on the right side of the residence, looks like there's a window and door on that side as well.
Yes.
And you checked those.
Yes.
And State's Exhibit 3 is a different view of that side, correct?
Correct.
And what are we looking at now?
That is the back side or north side of the residence.
Can you check that as well?
Yes.
And no signs of forced entry.
No, sir.
And now we can see the left side of the house there. Did you check that window as well?
Yes, sir.
And so, did you all knock on the door, ring the doorbell, try to find anyone?
Yes, we
But
knocked
did
on the doors, all the windows. We identified ourselves, as much as we could through the windows. We got no response.
Did you check the mailbox?
Yes,
Why did you check the mailbox?
to see if the mail had been checked, because they said they had not been seen for 2 days, and there was still mail in the mailbox.
Oh, please. I have
recall
mail
the
in my
postmark
mailbox
was
for
of that
weeks.
mail?
I don't remember.
We refresh your recollection, look at your report.
Yes,
Wow. Turn your cell phone off, mail in the mailbox, fire pit, means you're a killer.
Yeah.
Is that your report there?
yes.
If you just take a moment and read it to yourself, not out loud. Don't say it out loud. Does that refresh your recollection?
Yes.
What
If you
was
don't
the postmark
ejaculate,
of the
you're
mail in
guilty.
the mailbox?
June 8th, 2015.
So after you and the other deputies were not able to obtain the attention of anyone inside the residence and checking the mailbox, do you then continue to investigate this case or you hand it off to someone? How does that work?
I called our on-call detective and informed him of the matter.
And then did they respond after the resident?
Yes.
Nothing further.
Any name of this witness?
No, Your Honor.
They may be excused.
Oh,
Yes,
really?
sir.
Tell that,
Yes, sir.
tell,
Thank you, sir.
tell
Appreciate
that
it.
to the defendant.
Yes, sir. You have another witness?
Yes, just one moment.
Okay, bye. Now what?
This defendant couldn't come if his life
State call
depended on it.
June Scanlon.
Have you ever had sex in an AMC bathroom, David?
Gypsy has.
Yeah. Will you show
Did you
everyone
lose
the
your
video that
virginity
you-
in an AMC bathroom?
I already.
Wearing a
already
Cinderella
did.
dress.
I can do it again.
Oh, no. Have a seat. Watch your step. People trip on that all the time.
Oh,
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in the cause now pending before the court? Do you do the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do. Thank you. Have a seat. Yes, sir.
Could you state your name for the record, please?
Jim Stanley.
For the record.
How are you employed?
I am a owner of Forensic Fire Investigations here in Springfield, Missouri.
Yeah.
What does that business do?
We investigate fires and explosion incidents for the public sector.
Okay, just yeah.
Oh,
Here's the thing. What? Just a minute. I have shown the thing with the Dee on fire already. That was on Dali's show earlier. There are other things on social media that Gypsy has been sharing, which are cringe. Haiti can absolutely attest to this. Cringe. I have to save some things for hearsay for days. Okay, so those of you who don't know, I have a show on Sundays at 3 p.m. Eastern where we look at all the social media garbage that's been going on throughout the week. And I feel like I do need to save some things for that show. However, after we've watched a little bit more testimony, I will bring up the Dearest fire thing again, because I feel like we do need to experience that moment. Again.
maybe she meant he had chlamydia.
The
Maybe.
Dearest fire. Oh, maybe
Maybe that's why it's fire.
I know.
Maybe we'll bring it up again because it's just everyone needs to see it. Everyone needs to see it. So yeah.
Everybody needs to cringe.
Did you used to work for the Greene County Sheriff's Office?
I did.
When did you leave the Greene County Sheriff's Office?
December
Dali-
28th of 2015
And why did you leave that?
to get into the private
Make
sector.
sure you subscribe to Dali. He's great.
When you worked for the Sheriff's Office, how long did you work for them?
I was started in March of 2001.
And what types of duties did you have during the time you were with the Sheriff's Office?
Initially, I was hired as a patrol officer. Then I was promoted up to patrol sergeant.
Yeah, Dolly is good.
I was promoted into the detective division.
And before I left the Greene County Sheriff's Office, I was a supervising sergeant over the property crimes division.
Can you talk a little bit about what it means to be in the detective division of the sheriff's office?
Yes, for me, I did numerous types of crimes, violent crimes. I did property crimes. I was also a fire and explosion investigator, so I was detached to Springfield Fire Department, where I served as a bomb tech on the bomb squad.
With regard, did you work on any homicide investigations?
I did.
As a detective?
Yes.
What kind of training did you have in that area?
Attended numerous seminars, trainings over the years. I've attended some of the courses I've taken was homicide investigation techniques, major crimes investigator, major case squad training, and I'm a level 3 CSI through the Missouri Southern State Catalyst Council.
By CSI, and crime scene investigator?
Yes, sir.
You said that at the end of your time in the sheriff's office, you were a supervising sergeant?
Correct.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I had a group of 10 detectives that were under my command, and they were in the property crimes division, so they would investigate anything from burglaries to auto theft. They could go on other things too as well to assist other scenes as far as homicides, violent crimes, arsons, any type of incident.
I want to draw your attention to June 14th of 2015. Were you working for the sheriff's office on that day?
Yes.
It really is like
Did you have an
Romeo and
occasion
Juliet.
to be called out to 2103 West Volunteer Way?
I did.
Is that a location here in Greene County?
It is.
Why were you called out to that location?
I was called out by my lieutenant to respond in reference to possible suspicious circumstances. Once I arrived out at the scene, they told me that if there was a crime, I would be in charge of the crime.
You mean, by the charge of the crime, you mean in charge of the crime scene?
Yes, correct.
And did you ultimately perform a search of 2103 West Volunteer Way?
I did.
Was that pursuant to a search warrant?
It was.
It's Exhibit 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
But
12.
but he still could not ejaculate.
You can skip
Apparently.
13 through 18,
That's
19,
never going to get old.
20,
No, this is going to go on for the entire
20A,
That's it.
21,
At
It's
least.
not
I
stopping.
mean, it's going to get old for him.
22A, and 22B, 22, 23,
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
Liz.
that's nice.
24,
Aw,
25,
so sweet.
28, skipping 29 for the moment, 30,
Some say
31.
he's still counting to this very day.
33, and 34.
And 35.
Have you seen those photographs before?
I have.
And in general, what do those photographs depict?
They depict generally the exterior of the residence working to the interior of the residence. The front door would be number 6.
Without going into detail of all of them, do they generally depict and document your search of the residence?
They do.
And are they fair and accurate representations of what the residence looked like, both outside and inside, during your search of the residence?
Yes.
At this time, I'd move to admit Split Exhibits 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
You had,
Well, Matt, I actually have an interview with him in prison, so
then you jumped to
19, 20, 20A, 21, 22A, 22B, 22, 23, 24, 25, 27, 28, 30, 31, 32, 33, and 34.
any objection?
No objection.
That would receive without objection.
21.
A moment ago, you were starting to tell us
22.
how the residence stayed and where it was. Can you just briefly describe that to us as we look at State's Exhibit 1?
Yes, the front of the residence faces to the south. There is a purple colored Nissan Cube in the driveway and
Yes.
a ramp that goes up in
Yes.
front of the residence for a wheelchair.
No, it's not necessarily.
And did you check their residence to see if there are any
Wait,
signs
pause.
of forced entry?
I did.
Did you find it?
I did not.
Yeah.
After 4 hours, you have to go to a doctor. The best case, they give you some medication because it starts to get very painful, very swollen, and they have to give you medication. If the medication doesn't help and you have like priapism, they have to get the blood out.
What's the name of that? Sorry. say that again.
Priapism.
Priapism?
Oh,
No.
you seem to both know very well what this is. Okay.
Well, it's constant erections. But basically, they have to get the blood out somehow. So if they can't get it down, they got to cut into it or stick a needle in it to get the blood out.
What?
Yeah.
You've never heard of this before?
before.
Yeah, there's some insects I believe in South America that if they bite you, they'll actually you will literally die of an erection. Like I'm not actually joking. Yeah.
It's throbbing and very painful.
Yeah.
I did not know you could die of a boner.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could die from it.
Yeah,
But it's
you can.
insane. Okay.
It's something it has nothing to
Okay.
do with like the actual erection itself. It just actually it causes one, and then whatever else it is, like actually is what kills you.
The effects from the massive erection.
So the
At least you'll have a good time on the way out. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think it sounds like a very good time at all. It's like cracking a fat kills you.
Yeah, that's why they say like if you have an erection lasting longer than 4 hours, seek medical attention.
I don't know why they
Death
don't
by
say that.
erection, 100% going on my tombstone.
I don't know why they say go see a doctor. It's like go to a whorehouse, like go to a street corner or something. It's like
Oh my lord! This is
yes, the penis
Wow.
fish. Yes,
That too.
there's the thing that'll swim up your urethra and it'll its little sharp
Things latch in
into your urethra.
wow.
It likes the warm urine in like some South Africa or South
that's-
American thing.
That's
Like
why you don't
go,
pee in the water.
yeah, because it'll find the warm water and just
Right up in there.
Okay, yeah, I've got a really good question. How do you know this?
I don't know. My dad told me.
Yeah, Sal sounds like he's speaking from personal experience.
No,
No,
no.
no.
I have trouble finishing. That's my problem.
Oh, you have a Nick
Okay.
problem.
Enough. We're moving on.
Well,
That's
if I
it.
drink too much.
That's what she said.
TMI.
We're looking at State's Exhibit 2.
Looking at the driveway of the residence, the southeast corner of the exterior.
Oh, speaking of, I need to call my dad. I'll be right back.
Oh, he's going. Okay, bye.
State's Exhibit 4.
Be the rear corner, which would be the north side, back of the residence.
State's Exhibit 5.
We'll be looking at the southwest corner of the residence.
And so in those exhibits 1 through 5, and we see all the windows and doors of the residence that you checked.
We did.
What are we looking at here in State's Exhibit 6?
We're looking at the front door leading to the entry, located on the south
It
side.
does look
porch.
like an outline.
Now what are we looking at? State's Exhibit 7.
Now we're looking from the front door that opens into the left. We're looking to the north down a long hallway.
So is that the door on the far left of the photograph there?
Now, this
It
is
is.
getting
Okay. Now, they said we're looking down the hallway. What is to our left if we were to step in and turn left?
That would be the living room.
And if we were to turn to our right, what would we find?
Immediately find the dining room and then a kitchen off just to the other side.
So we can see some of the appliances there, right? What we're looking at now.
We're looking at the dining room and partial kitchen.
And later, there's going to be some items over here. What is this area of the kitchen?
That would be the corner of the table.
What are we looking at now? Safety Exhibit 9.
We are looking at the west north wall of the living room. You have a couch and a wheelchair off to the left.
Is that what I'm highlighting there?
It is.
And this is a condition in which the living room was when you first entered the residence.
Yes.
Now what are you looking at in Safety Exhibit 10?
Looking down the hallway to the north, we are looking at a bottle, spray bottle on the floor.
Is that what I've highlighted there?
Correct.
And what is this over here in the hallway?
That is a black baseball style cap.
As we walk down this hallway, what do we find to our left?
It looks like a
The first room to the left
Yeah.
is a storage room,
Okay, and then the next door?
would be a bathroom.
And is there a door beyond that?
There is a door beyond that, which should be a bedroom identified as Gypsy Rose Blanchard's bedroom.
Okay, and if we go down this hallway, down on the far end to our right, what do we find?
That would be the bedroom belonging to Claudia Blanchard.
Or Claudine Blanchard?
Claudia, yes.
Is that what you said? Chlamydia?
We're looking at here, and Stacy could go
Oh, this house
down the hallway to the
is
left.
Correct.
Okay, all right, that's the.
And what are we-
I
Correct.
see.
Jesus.
So what are we looking at here in Safety Exhibit 12?
The room all the way down to the right, Claudine Blanchard, laying on a bed.
Yeah.
And is
that's
she
what's
in the
like
bed here?
Minecraft.
She is.
We're looking at here in Stacy Exhibit 19.
We're looking at a trash can next to the bed, would be on the east side of the bed, it's the wall. And there would be
And in Safety Exhibit 20, is it just a close-up?
and that would be like a white,
Is that depicted here in Safety Exhibit 20A?
it is.
Where are we looking at now in Safety Exhibit 21?
We're looking at the southwest corner of Claudine Blanchard's bedroom with a plastic bottle of suspected cleaning solution.
Similar to the bottle we saw in the hallway earlier.
Yes.
What are we looking at here in Safety Exhibit 22?
This is an overall of the bathroom with a wheelchair in the center of the bathroom.
That's a wheelchair? Oh.
And we're going to get to it in a minute,
wheelchair.
but there's a laundry basket there over to the left by the tub.
Yes.
And then when you're looking in this room, you also look at the sink area there to the right and items beside the sink.
Correct.
What are we looking at here in Safety Exhibit 22A?
We're looking at the door leading into the bathroom, and we're
I
looking,
see something right there that I'm pointing at with the pointer. What was that consistent with your training experience?
what evidence?
Oh.
And now in Safety Exhibit 22B, what are we looking at?
Same thing close up.
Right, Jan?
Safety Exhibit 23, what are we looking at?
We're looking at a disposable razor that's in a laundry basket.
And now Safety Exhibit 24, what are we seeing?
Looking at a roll of paper towels next to the sink.
Wow.
Safety Exhibit 25, what is that?
That is the top
Sexy.
section of the roll of paper towels with suspected blood.
And did you have that map pointer there?
Yes.
Maybe wouldn't have stepped down to show what you're talking about.
Of course.
Yeah. But it's like, everything looks purple.
Talking about right here is the end droplets.
Of the,
Here, here,
it's like
here.
all looks purple.
and then we have kind of a smudge mark here.
Thank you.
Oh.
I'm going to show you what's
Tell
been
me
marked
about
with
it.
State Exhibit 26, right, application, you recognize that?
Can't even use a
I do.
disposable on
And what
your
is
face.
it?
That would be the recovered roll of paper towels.
And 26 is actually the paper bag,
He's
correct?
a weed
That is
whacker.
correct.
And it's the bag you place that roll of paper towels from State Exhibit 25 into?
Yes.
How do you know that?
Because I've dated it, I placed my initials on the evidence tape.
Wow.
So this
sounds
writing we
offensive.
see on the front of the bag, is that yours?
I dated it.
The
I
writing
placed
here
my
would be
initials
from
there.
Hey,
Detective
Lefty.
Wallace, who assisted at the scene. That
Condition the
Oh, this
evidence
is even
date. How do you know that's your evidence date?
is my initial, my
She's a
date.
3-hole.
And then on the front, next to the exhibit sticker,
That's a property evidence barcode. So that's a property evidence barcode. So
It
when
only
we fill those
itches
out, we place them on
24
this
hours
bag, so.
I agree.
Doesn't start till
and
later.
that identifies this as a roll of paper towels.
It does.
Now there's blue tape on here as well. In your experience, what is that consistent with?
That could be consistent with a laboratory.
And this label on the back, is that also consistent with the lab?
It is.
Other than the fact that it has this bar sticker from the lab on the back and the blue tape from the lab, is this evidence bag with paper towels in substantially the same condition as when you took it from the residence at 2103 West Volunteer Street?
It is.
I move to admit case exhibit 26.
No objection.
It be admitted without objection.
What are we looking at here in case exhibit 27?
May I step down?
Yes.
We're looking at suspected blood droplet here in the sink.
And did you do something to try to collect that suspected blood droplet from the sink?
I did.
What did you do?
Took a DNA swab.
And what are we looking at here in case exhibit 28?
We were looking at the swab here. It was used to collect the sample. You can see the red stain on the DNA swab.
They stopped cleaning because they were trying to get busy.
And now I'm going to show you what's been marked as state's exhibit 29 for identification. Do you recognize that?
I do.
How do you recognize state's exhibit 29?
It has my writing, the date, and my initials on the front of the evidence statement.
And does it also have a sticker and some blue tape consistent with the crime lab?
It does.
Other than the fact that it has those crime lab markings on it, 29.
29 would be the possible blood swab collected from the scene.
That we see in state's exhibit 28.
Correct.
Other than the fact that it has the lab markings on it, is it in substantially the same condition as when you took that swab?
It is.
I move to admit state's exhibit 29.
Okay.
The be received without objection.
Nah, yeah, there was, and there was
All right, what are
one
we looking
like,
at here now
we had a
in
bite.
state exhibit 30?
We're looking at receipt and Missouri driver's license of Gypsy Blanchard, as well as a debit card.
And where are we looking at
I
this?
think it
I'm
was
sorry.
her.
That's where in the house are we?
I'm sorry, it's in the kitchen area on the kitchen table.
All right, and so behind the kitchen table up here, it looks like there's like mosaic or some kind of stained glass or something. What is it we're looking at up there on state's exhibit 30?
That's actually a window covering over the window.
That
Really?
looks kind of like stained glass
It does.
applied to it.
Imitation.
I think it's like a film.
It is.
Some rotten
State's
bananas.
exhibit 31, what are we looking at?
We're looking at Gypsy Blanchard's Missouri driver's license, as well as a debit card, and I believe another card.
And that's where you saw them on the table there?
Yes.
I'm not sure why they
It-
Yeah, what we see in state's exhibit 32.
Yes.
They were any good at it.
So now what are we looking at in state's exhibit 33?
On the left corner of the table, we're looking at a plastic tub.
Are you talking about this over here?
I am.
Okay. And do you find something of interest in that tub?
I did.
Snacks.
What was it?
It was a box of blue latex gloves.
Is that what we're looking
Ah,
at
it is
here
gloves.
in state's exhibit 34?
It is.
Now, didn't the prosecution say that she just turned up with those, like she had those ready for him?
Yeah, she said that they already had them.
Yeah, like that was That was prepared.
Because Gypsy provided the gloves and the knife.
And the knife, yeah.
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo cereal. She had like toys and stuff as well.
Issue with the mark for identification in
Like, she
State
was
Exhibit
acting like a child
35.
all the time.
Do you recognize what's depicted in State Exhibit 35?
I do.
In general, what is it?
Mastermind.
It is a bank bag in the top left drawer
Oh,
of
oops.
the
Left them
dresser
behind.
that's sitting next to it.
In which room?
On the end work.
Is that a fair and accurate depiction of that bank bag in that drawer?
It is.
I move to admit State Exhibit 35.
No objection.
Be received without objection.
And would you use your pointer and point out the bank bag we're talking about?
Yes.
It's right here, and it's the Community National Bank bag, top of the drawer.
And what is
Please
this
stay,
item
Jake.
to the up and to the right of the bank bag?
That would be a
Yes.
roll of duct tape.
A feeding tube.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Actually, Gypsy had
No
a
further
feeding tube.
questions.
Ms. Reed, anything?
No question,
At
John.
one point
Okay,
in
this
time, she
witness
did.
be excused.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Officer, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Oh, we can go about an hour and 10 minutes here. I think it might be a good time for a little break.
Here you go.
I want to again remind you of what you were told at the
Right
first
now.
recess of the court. Until you retire to consider your verdict, you must not discuss this case among yourselves and the others, or permit anyone to discuss it in your hearing.
Remember, he
You
doesn't
should
look
not
like the
express
interrogation.
any opinion about the case until it's finally given to you to decide. Do not do any research or investigation on your own about any matter regarding this case or anyone involved with the trial. Do not communicate with others about the case by any means. Do not read, view,
Okay. So I want to show you guys this instead for a second. So hang on a minute. Let me just get this over onto a different screen for you so I can show it to you. All right, guys. If just for a little bit of a trial break for a couple of minutes, I found this. Now they lived in Louisiana, and I think it must have been around the time of a hurricane or something
It's
like
Katrina.
that.
Yeah,
It was
Hurricane
Katrina. Right. Okay. So people, I mean, I'm sure they were displaced and all that kind of thing. And yes, they were in a bad way, but this is what happened. Guys, watch and be ready to be just shocked if you haven't seen this before.
It's Mayberry. We're moving to Mayberry.
Can you hear that?
It didn't take a lot to convince Dee Dee and her
Can you
daughter
guys hear
Gypsy
that?
Rose to make a
Yeah.
new home in Aurora.
Cool.
They already knew it was meant to be.
It is the perfect town, the perfect place.
I think it was a blessing in disguise. It took something like a hurricane to make us have a happy ending.
Dee Dee was happy enough
Wow.
just having medical care for Gypsy. She says she never expected this.
It's amazing. It's amazing the
Look at our
outpouring of
house.
love and support.
Dr. Janet Jordan met Dee Dee and Gypsy while on a mission trip to the hurricane-ravaged areas. She says she knew right away she'd see them again.
They're like lost souls who were meant to have been born and raised in Aurora.
After arranging a helicopter ride from Louisiana to St. John's Hospital, the process began to find them a permanent home. It turns out St. John's already owned this house, and with the help of local donations, it was turned into a home.
I think that's just kind of what we're all about. You know, we're all about doing what we can to help people in a bad situation.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It's happy.
She sounds
And
like
it's
little
full of love.
Annie.
Gypsy and Dee Dee say they're blessed. Dr. Jordan says they deserve to be.
It was pretty devastating down there. It really was. And they never, ever lost hope. I think they brought hope to everybody down there.
This is home
yeah.
for us. We've been wandering for so long, and this is finally our home. So it's so good to be here.
This is Kara Rastelli reporting for KY3's Ozarks Today.
Isn't that nuts? Isn't that nuts, guys?
Not surprising.
Like,
a lot of fraud
wow.
happens that way.
That's the mother. Wow.
Yeah.
And look at the kid. Like, the kid clearly really, really, really believes that she's so sick. And yeah.
Well,
Wow. What year was that? Like, I'm not familiar
I
with
think
what
it was
year.
2006, 2005, 2006. I think was when
I
Katrina.
remember Katrina happening, but I can't put it. It's 2006. Well, no, it was a long time ago. But
Yeah, it was-
so
it
she
was a
would.
long
Okay, so she's 32, 31, 32 now. So yeah, she was a kid then. So like, yeah, she doesn't look like a child.
Yeah, but I think there's so the part where like that she looks like that she believes it. So the problem is that like we know that she didn't because she told Nick that she didn't. So like even though she was pretending outwardly, but again, obviously like when we know that like when Gypsy wouldn't do what she was told, that her mother would sometimes starve her for days.
Yes.
And so like she was being abused and manipulated to get what her
Absolutely.
mother wanted her to do. So she was probably just going along with it because she wanted to eat, you know, or not get beat or whatever it was that was going on. So like, but she knew that she wasn't sick. Like, I think that's
I don't
part
know
of
if
it. At least
if
part
she
of the time she
was
did.
sick back then or not. Like, so my question is like, when did it click for
Yeah,
her?
that's the thing that seems that'd be
don't
really
know.
interesting to know. Yeah,
It would
because
be
I don't have
interesting
any
to know that.
idea.
Yeah. Hi, Haley Wolf. How's it going? Good to see you. So the Gypsy looked like that because of the abuse. She really looks. But that was then. Like, this is what we're just trying to work out. And so, when exactly did she turn into sort of this sort of more grown woman who actually was lying and actually was then manipulated this man to unalive the mother? Because it did seem like she kind of did manipulate this guy to unalive the mother.
Yeah, and John, she kind of had it coming. The mother definitely had it coming, but like, so the twist in it, is that so she basically Gypsy like got this guy who is autistic, who has a very low IQ, to kind of do the work for her, and she basically testifies against him in his trial, and she got out like last month. She got out at the end of December after her 8 years, and he's serving life
without parole.
Without parole.
Without parole, and he's just gonna start.
She was the mastermind.
Yeah.
Well, I think he's been appealing it, but there's a new motion
appeal.
or whatever.
Yeah, her real name's Gypsy Rose. Yeah. All right, sweet. Let's
It's
keep
really
going.
messed up.
Sir, come on up.
I don't know if I'd say she had it coming.
Yes,
But
okay, thank you.
Just on that, I'll just say one thing on that. Like, even like Gypsy Rose has said that her mother deserved to be in prison, not to be unalived. But then again, I mean, like that's her now. So
I mean, her mother deserved something for sure.
she deserves something, but
I mean, I don't know.
Maybe
I just feel bad for this guy because he was
manipulated,
desperate and horny and
very horny.
Yes.
Not able to come, which is why he was so horny.
Clearly.
He couldn't ejaculate, which explains a lot. Okay.
Yeah. Had a lot of tension built up.
Which explains a lot. Okay, let's keep going.
You solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give in the trial testimony before the court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So you got it. Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a seat.
Can you move the closed caption to the right?
Morning.
Good morning.
Can you please state your name?
Thomas J. Vandyberg.
Oh, to the left.
And can you maybe spell your last name for the record?
It is VANDEBERG.
I might just unboost
Sir, what is
it
your current
and turn the
occupation?
volume
I am the
up.
chief forensic
Guys,
investigator with
please
the
feel a
Greene
bit of
County
feedback.
Medical
How are we in
Examiner's Office.
comparison to the court?
In general, what is the Greene County Medical
I think we are,
Examiner's
though, aren't
Office?
we?
The medical examiner's office is tasked
It's nice
by
for us to keep
statute
it lower
with
than-
investigating any sudden unexpected death or any death that is suspicious or caused by any kind of violence.
What are your current duties right now as chief forensic investigator?
As the chief
Red
forensic investigator, I supervise the 4 other investigators in the office. I assist with autopsies, I do death scene investigations, and I do the administrative
I have low
paperwork
T.
side of the office also.
How long have you been chief forensic investigator?
17 years.
Clearly.
Before being the chief investigator, did you work for the medical examiner's office in another capacity?
Yes, I was an investigator for 4 years before becoming the chief investigator.
Was that pretty much the same duties without all the supervisor stuff?
Did you
It was
investigate
actually
if the
mostly
defendant can
on
ejaculate?
call, part-time. I also worked as a paramedic at that time.
He's different.
And
No.
where did you work as a paramedic?
I worked
Vealhammer just
my
said the
last
same thing in private chat.
5 years as a paramedic here in Springfield for Mercy Hospital.
Where did you start your career as a paramedic?
I started in Sioux City, Iowa.
It was
I obtained EMT and then EMT intermediate and paramedic.
Okay, hang on a minute. So we think that he might have testified in the Murdoch trial.
He testified in a case recently. Unless I'm just remembering this from this, but he looks familiar and his background is familiar, but I can't remember what trial it was, because I don't think it was the Iowa one, because I think he ended up back in the Midwest somewhere, but he testified in a case recently that we all watched. Maybe one of the Wisconsin ones.
Sorry, Dave Bass is like distracting me.
Did
yeah.
you ejaculate, David?
Which one?
Did you finish?
Which David?
MLS.
Oh,
we have too many
excited. I
Davids
finished
coming
my
here.
We have just
In the
David's
chat.
coming in everywhere. What's going on?
All kinds of Davids are coming into chat.
I don't know
God,
what's
my
going
keyboard's
on
all
again.
sticky.
What's his name again? I don't know. Orlan Red. We missed his name.
I can find out. I'll put it
No,
in
you
chat
can't.
when I find it.
No, you can't.
Is it
Okay,
Thomas
yeah, if you-
Vandenberg?
Okay,
I think.
he's a forensic officer. All right, let's just go back to this.
We are summoned typically by law enforcement who is already there. Initially, on arrival, we make contact with the lead investigator from law enforcement, get a summary of what's going on. We start taking photographs of the outside of the scene, and then we photograph as we go into the scene,
Vandenberg.
gather all the
Vanderlei?
information we can about the deceased, and then we observe and record what we see at the scene, and then do a examination of the deceased, and then package the deceased for transportation for autopsy if that's required.
Then when you are assisting in an autopsy, what are your duties?
When I assist with the autopsy, typically it's myself and the forensic pathologist. I get the body out, weigh the body, get all the containers and everything set up for the autopsy. Then I take the photographs during the autopsy. I assist with measurements and weighing and documentation as directed by the pathologist. And then I also assist the pathologist in opening the body, removing the organs for their examination.
As the forensic pathologist is conducting the autopsy, are you also personally observing what, if any, injuries may be present?
Yes. The pathologist is on one side of the table, I'm on the other, and we're working together.
And does that include both the injury, if present, on the surface level of the body, as well as any damage that may be caused internally?
Yes.
And has your training and experience allowed you to become familiar with human anatomy?
Yes.
Which specific training?
All the way through EMT and paramedic training, death investigation training. In my forensic master's degree, we had 2 forensic pathology courses that went heavily into anatomy and physiology of the body.
And then has a portion of your training experience also been on being able to determine what mechanisms cause certain injuries?
Yes.
In which specific parts of your training?
And mechanism of injury was very important in pre-hospital care and paramedic training because you had to anticipate injuries that didn't show up right away by examining the mechanism of injury and what could possibly be injured that you don't see right away.
I'd like to call your attention to the early morning hours of June 15th of 2015. Were you called out to 2103 West Volunteer Way?
Yes, I was.
Can you describe what initially brought you to that location?
I was called by the sheriff's office with the information that there was a homicide at that location.
When you arrived on scene, about what time of day or night was it?
I arrived on the scene shortly before 2 a.m.
Fair to say there were a lot of police and other personnel there?
Yes.
No.
When you first arrived on
Really?
scene, what were some of the first things that you did?
I met with Detective Stanley, who was the lead investigator at the scene, got a synopsis of what was happening, that there was a deceased female, that they had gone into the residence, done their initial observations, but had not touched the body at that point. At that point, we put on protected clothing, a Tyvek suit, boot covers, gloves.
You did.
Photographed the external area of the scene, and then we entered through the front door of the residence.
Nice job, John.
Oh,
Once you
unlike
were
Nick,
inside the
he entered the
residence,
back door.
Took photographs going through of the kitchen, dining area, living room, bathroom, and another bedroom that the door was open, and then started photographing into the room where the decedent was.
And did you later learn her name was Claudine Blanchard?
Yes.
Once you were in the room where Ms. Blanchard's body was, how did you conduct your investigation?
We start from the doorway, noting the condition of the room, what lights are or aren't on, position of furniture, position of other items around the room, and then work into the body, observing the body in the position found, and with, in this case, the coverings, the bed coverings, covering most of the body.
Did you ultimately observe any injuries?
Yes. As we went up to the actual body, there were several defects which appeared from sharp injury through the back of the clothing. She was laying face down on the bed. Arms were up with hands kind of underneath her face. And there was blood saturating the back of the nightgown that she was wearing, and blood also on the bed.
Once you made those observations, then what was the next thing you did?
And then once we moved the bedding down, moved the clothing up, we did observe several apparent stab wounds across the upper back.
Yeah. Aside from the injuries that you've talked about, was there anything else that you could determine about the condition of Ms. Blanchard's body?
Rigor mortis was passing, which takes 24 to 36 hours for rigor mortis to be firm and then start to pass after 24 to 36 hours. Her rigor mortis was passing. Her face and the dependent level of her body, the front, was very dark, and the skin was starting to slip when we moved her body, which is another indication that death had been at least 36 hours prior.
Well, I don't know why we're bringing color into this.
Then did you eventually make arrangements to have Ms. Blanchard's body transported for autopsy?
Yes, we
you did.
No, we just
rolled
left
her
it
over, looked for other injuries, secured her in a body bag. We put a identification tag on the left ankle at the scene, and then we put a locking seal on the body bag.
There's something wrong with them.
At this scene, had another investigator who came out with the van, and we transported her to the medical examiner's office at that point.
Is that then when her autopsy was conducted?
Her autopsy was conducted, I believe we started just before 1 o'clock that same day in the afternoon.
In general, I should have asked this earlier, what is an autopsy?
An autopsy is a complete examination of the body used to determine the cause of death and help to determine the manner of death.
Like, do you not know
Did you
her?
assist in Ms. Blanchard's autopsy?
Yes, I did.
Who was the medical examiner or forensic pathologist?
Dr. Jeff Harkin was the medical examiner at that point.
And was there anyone else present during the autopsy besides yourself and Dr. Harkin?
Yes, there were detectives from the Greene County Sheriff's Office that were present at the autopsy.
In a case like this of a suspected homicide, is that unusual to have law enforcement there while you're doing the autopsy?
No, that is standard that law enforcement attends any autopsy for a suspicious death.
Prior to examining Ms. Blanchard's injuries, did you do some preliminary evidence collection?
Once the body bag is open and we put evidence bags on the hands at the scene, those bags are removed one at a time. The hands are photographed. We did collect all the specimens for a sexual assault kit, which is standard in a homicide that we do that. That included clipping the nails, swabs of the mouth, vaginal swabs, rectal swabs, and combings and pulled hairs, both pubic and head hairs.
And specifically with the swabbing of the mouth, what's that called?
It's a buccal swab, and it's a swab that we just rub the inside of the cheek for any DNA material that may be there.
And in your experience, is that type of swab of the cheek typical to obtain a sample of that person's own DNA?
Yes.
Now, when you were collecting the swabs from Ms. Blanchard, what did you do with them after you had collected them?
I collected the swabs and handed them directly to one of the detectives from the sheriff's office, who then packaged those and collected them.
John, my understanding is that detectives, when the autopsy happens, a detective is there, at least one, ideally them and their partner, to
that's correct.
Be there and watch it and make sure everything is done correctly. Just to document it and everything they find. I've read a lot of Harry Bosch books and other crime shows, and that's my understanding. So, anyways, carry on. They do.
Well.
Yes.
They don't always do it well.
They don't always take photos well, but yeah, they are there trying. I guess they're trying to guide the medical examiner who's cutting up the body, looking at it, where to focus, roll them over, take a picture of their back, stuff like that. So, for evidence collection, exactly. So, carry on, my wayward son.
It's me, actually. I'm not your son.
Daughter.
I'm like your daughter either.
Co-host. Carry on, my wayward
Carry on,
co-host.
whatever. That's fine.
Poor kid.
Did you make any preliminary observations on the clothing of Ms. Blanchard?
She was
I
wearing
love
a nightgown,
Supernatural.
and it had multiple holes in the back and
I'm not sure.
a few holes on the side, I believe.
Then after the preliminary examination, did you go ahead and examine Ms. Blanchard's body for injury?
Yes.
And did you photograph that process?
Yes, I did.
and took him as a trophy. Or like in Gone in 60 Seconds, where he takes a bite of the sandwich and lays it on the guy's
I
stomach.
can't believe it. I just DM'd Hella and told her it was, and she told me it was too long. And no woman has ever told me that before.
I can see she actually did say that.
She did.
I did.
I asked her if it's long enough, and she said it's too long.
Too long.
And she giggled.
Indeed, I did.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to intimidate you. How?
I'll do it for you, for God's sake.
Well, I can take away an inch or so.
Show you what has been
I'll
marked
for you and I'll show you what
as
I'll take away the
exhibits
Just let her do it.
13 through 18. If you could just
I
take a
tried.
second and look at those.
I know.
I gave it the callous try. I'm still not going to ejaculate.
You're missing out, man. You're missing
Why do I
out.
hang out with these people?
I don't know. I don't know.
Right.
Why do you spend
Yes,
hours a
where are
day
they?
talking?
Those are photographs from the scene of
I don't
Ms.
get paid
Blanchard as
nearly
she
enough
was
for
found
this.
in her bed and then packaged in body
I
bag.
don't get paid
And
hardly at
do
all.
the images of Ms. Blanchard in those photographs fairly and accurately depict how she looked when you saw her?
Yes.
Then I'm going to show you what I have marked
Sure.
as States Exhibits 36 through 41. If you could take a moment and look through those.
I'm gonna read this different. All right, what?
You have the right to remain hard. Anything you splooge can and will.
Yeah, yeah. Where do my life decisions lead me now? I get up at 4 or 5 a.m. every morning to spend time with this dude.
Do you recognize those?
Yes.
What are they?
Those are photographs taken at the autopsy of Ms. Blanchard.
And do they fairly and accurately reflect how she looks during the autopsy?
Yes.
And then lastly, States Exhibit 42. Do you recognize what that is?
That is a short form Missouri death certificate.
And is that for Claudine Blanchard?
Yes, it is.
Exactly.
At this time, the state will seek to admit States Exhibits 13
Yes, that's right. It's too
through
late for me.
18.
Exactly.
Yep. Absolutely.
Oh, no objection.
We receive it, objection.
And admissions 36 through 42.
No objection, Your Honor.
We receive it, objection.
Your Honor, due to the sensitive nature of these photographs, may I publish them by giving each juror their own packet that has a copy of them rather than show them on the screen?
Yes.
That means they're graphic.
Are you going to have the witness describing the notes here?
Yes. And you can refer to your copy if that's okay. What are we looking at here and what's already been admitted as States Exhibit 1?
That is the outside front of Ms. Blanchard's residence with a vehicle parked in the driveway beside it.
And then flipping to the next page, what's depicted in State Exhibit 12?
That is the view into Ms. Blanchard's bedroom from the doorway.
Flipping to the next page, what's in State Exhibit 13?
And that is a closer image of Ms. Blanchard as she was found from the right side.
Flipping to the next page.
And that was the photograph taken from the left side, from the side of the bed of Ms. Blanchard.
And looking in State's Exhibit 14, is that blood basically that's kind of soaked there through her nightgown?
Yes, the back of the nightgown was saturated and mostly dried at the time that I saw her.
And it looks like there, then that pink sheet lower than that, then ultimately the comforter also had some blood.
Yes.
Other than that, did you observe any kind of blood that flew onto the walls or anything like that?
Not that I observed. When I was there, it was early morning and we were in suboptimal lighting conditions.
And what is that called when blood kind of projects from the body?
Cast off. When an item is withdrawn that has blood on it, blood is cast off of that item. And blood spatter is the overall forensic field of looking at the blood evidence left at the scene.
Then flipping to State's Exhibit 15, what are we looking at?
That is the initial lifting the back of the nightgown to see some of the wounds on Ms. Blanchard's back.
State's Exhibit 16, flipping to the next page, what is that?
That is a large wound on the back of the neck. And you also have wounds on the right side of the neck that are visible in this picture also.
And flipping to the next page, State's Exhibit 17, what is that?
That is after we were able to move Ms. Blanchard onto a body bag onto the other side of the bed to prepare for transporting her. The locking seal has been placed on the body bag and her name and autopsy number were written on the back.
And then flipping to State's Exhibit 18, what are you looking at?
That is a close-up of the locking seal that shows the individual number for that seal. Each seal has its own unique number.
And fair to say what we just looked at, Exhibits 13 through 18 were all pictures that were taken at the scene.
Yes.
Now, going back for a moment to the autopsy, when it came time to inspect the body of Ms. Blanchard for injury,
yes.
Were you there personally present?
Yes, I was.
And did you personally observe each injury on the external part of her body?
Yes.
Did you personally observe what, if any, damage those external injuries caused to the inside of her body?
I did.
In general, what type of injuries did Ms. Blanchard have?
So tomorrow on Dali Talk, we've got the shocking police interrogations continuing at 4 p.m. So that's before the trial stream. So everyone make sure that you subscribe to Dali and you also hit the notification for that one there. So if you click on that link, it will open and you can make sure that you have the notification on for that stream there. Cool. And don't worry about that stupid little thing that came up because it's just the end of the word tab. Dumb. Doesn't matter. But the actual link is in there. HTTP, whatever it is. Opens in a new tab. That's dumb. That opens in a new chat. Smart. Hey.
She had both stab wounds and incised or cutting wounds.
How many stab wounds did she have?
She had 17 stab wounds.
And how many incised wounds?
There were 2 large incised wounds, but they appeared to have been a series of cuts to cause those 2 large wounds.
Given well, I guess, which general part of her body were the stab wounds to?
The stab wounds were primarily over the upper back. There was 1 stab wound on the right side, and there was 1 stab wound just above the collarbone on the right side on the front, and 2 in the back of the head.
Now, super chat me if you want there to be
now,
dramatic readings.
Wounds on the neck. You mentioned that there were both stab wounds and those incised wounds.
Yes.
based on your training and experience, what causes an incised wound?
Or just become a member.
A sharp object drawn across in a cutting motion to cause a large cut injury.
If we flip to
Yes, please.
the next page, which is stated that it's 36, what are we doing in this page?
No, I reckon yes,
That
please
is
as well.
the body bag at the autopsy, showing that the locking seal is still intact, and we have added the autopsy number little scale we put in all the photographs taken at autopsy.
Then if you flip the page, what are we looking at? States it to the 37.
That is the incised wound on the back of the neck to the left side of the page, and on the right side of the page is the large incised wound to the right side of the neck.
I don't know. Does Hayden know about our
photograph, there are
traumatic
several
readings?
wounds that look like they run together into one large wound on the right side.
And specifically, kind of up there towards the top, that more circular wound. What about that?
It appears that was a stab wound, and there were
The dramatic
two stab
readings
wounds
can
to the
really
back of
nice.
the head, just right at the top
Yeah,
of the
we don't
neck.
have too much
And
longer
in your training
tonight.
and experience, would those be caused
We'll
by
come
a
back to the
different
end of this
mechanism than
video.
the incised wounds?
It's about
Well, a stabbing is
20
a
more minutes.
puncture
And I'm on 1.25.
going straight in or at an angle, but to just puncture the skin and hit whatever's underneath, as opposed to the cutting motion of a incised wound.
And then if you flip the page, states exhibit 38, what do we see in this picture?
In this picture, it shows the both wounds, the large incised wounds, but it also does show there is a stab wound behind the right ear, at the back of the head, just at the top of the neck, and then also the larger incised wound on the right side of the neck.
And then if we flip the page to states exhibit 39, what is this picture focusing on?
This shows multiple superficial wounds on the right side of the neck going down towards the shoulder. And it shows the clear forked tails in that large wound on the right that indicate there was several cutting motions for that wound. The other wounds on the right are very superficial and just one peeled some superficial skin, and several of them are just scratches.
Now, in regard to the incised wound on the back of the neck, were you able to tell how deep that was?
That wound did go all the way into where it was in contact with the bone of the cervical spine, and it contacted that between the 6th and 7th cervical vertebrae.
And how about the depth of the incised wound on the side?
The wound on the right side also went down to the cervical spine until it contacted the bone.
Oy.
If you flip to stage exhibit 40, what is this a photograph of?
That is a photograph of Ms. Blanchard's back taken from the right side.
And there are numbers there. What do those signify?
Dr. Harkey numbered each wound, and this shows the numbers 1 through 14 for the stab wounds on the back.
And of those 14 wounds there on the back, were there certain ones that caused significantly more damage than others?
Of these wounds, wound number 3, number 5, number 6, number 7, number 12, and number 14 penetrated into the chest cavity, and a couple of them on into the abdominal cavity of Ms. Blanchard.
He really went for it,
And if
didn't
you
he?
go ahead and flip to state exhibit 41, what is this exhibit?
This is a photograph that I initialed when I circled those 6 wounds that penetrated into the body cavities and damaged internal structures.
If we start with wound number 3, what was the internal damage caused on that?
Wound number 3 went into the left side of the chest.
Now, I mean, for those who are interested and don't mind macabre kind of stuff, we could potentially get the evidence if it's available and chuck it in morbidly explicit on the Discord. I don't know if we really want it. You're muted, Sal. Dali, muted. Boomer.
Am I muted?
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Oh God.
No, yeah,
That was
I don't.
nasty.
I don't like the idea of uploading autopsy photos like that one really scumbag person did
Oh,
to
no.
Patreon.
Well, that was they were paying for children's.
I know.
That was
I don't
disgusting.
like. I don't know.
It's only interesting to me if it shows something of the evidence that helps with the understanding of the trial.
Okay.
That's the only thing that's interesting. I'm not looking at no.
I don't want like
Don't get me
Julie
wrong.
Jensen autopsy photos or anything like that.
Well, no. Julie Jensen autopsy photos are very interesting because I'm only interested in the ones that show the
antifreeze crystallization.
I'm only interested that show. Sorry. I'm interested in the ones that show the hemorrhaging of the rib.
Or
that
the nose,
helps,
kind of.
or the nose, because that's integral to the case.
Which I still
but
don't believe she was suffocated, but
I do. I believe she was pushed into the mattress. Whether or not that was a cause of death or not, actually, that's probably not the cause of death. But regardless, so that's why I'm interested in those sorts of things. So just to clarify, that would be why I'd be interested in seeing some of the that evidence. But anyway, if it turns out that this stuff that he's talking about here turns out to prove whether or not Nick Godejohn went to further effort to unalive this woman than necessary, right? So if he really went for it, like if he stipulated, you know what I mean, and rather than
like
just
did the Jody,
did the
Jody Arias,
exactly. So I'm more interested in whether or not he was like, okay, I've done it, finished it, and bitch is dead, right? And now I can be with my girl.
And now my girl's shaving herself, and I'm gonna get laid.
Yeah,
and
all good. Exactly. Or whether or not he was like, okay, I'm having fun with this.
I'm gonna come. Not come.
Whether,
I'm not gonna come to a treehouse.
Or whether he's more like business, and he's like, no, I'm just gonna, go nuts with this.
Chop it off and
makes me. I'm a little bit more interested in that. So yeah.
I mean, it damaged the left lung, went into the pericardial sac, and then went into the left atrium of the heart.
And how about wound number 5?
Wound number 5 went into the right side of the chest and damaged the left.
I don't think I want to go into those areas of the internet.
And
we'll stay away from 4chan.
I believe
there's
he may
actually
have
a
also
site
penetrated
where,
into through the diaphragm and into the liver.
And it shows like
wound number 6 penetrated into the
that kind of
right side of the chest and into the right lung.
Enough.
Number 7.
Wound number 7 penetrated into the right side of the chest and into the right lung.
Wound number 12.
Wound number 12 penetrated into the chest and into the right lung.
And lastly, number 14.
And number 14 penetrated into the chest, into the right lung, and then I believe it also went through the diaphragm into the liver.
Do you remember how many times he said he stabbed her?
And flip to the
in
last
interrogation?
page, States Exhibit 42. You describe this exhibit.
This is
real
a copy of the
Oh,
Missouri
that's right. He
death
only counted the
certificate
ones that went
for
deep.
Claudine Blanchard.
And when are these issued?
These are issued after the certifying doctor has
20
enough
minutes.
information to make the determination of the cause and manner of death.
And it says there next to date of death, June 14th, 2015.
Yes.
Is that meant as the actual date of her death?
No, that is actually the date found. When we don't know the specific day of the death, we put on the death certificate the date that the body is found.
And ultimately, what was the listed cause of death?
The cause of death is listed as stab wounds.
Yeah.
Like that moment.
Yeah.
Blue balls. Blue balls.
I don't have any
Godejohn is it coming?
Same.
Yeah, exactly.
Same.
That's right.
He was
hey,
so
G.
manipulated.
Just breathe.
I really feel like
My question would be,
his
you
sentence
can't
was
tell us the order
incredibly
of these
unfair.
stabbings, is that correct?
That is correct.
You can't tell us the time frame that these stab wounds occurred, is that correct?
Stab wounds would appear to be at the time of death. They were very closely within minutes of the time of death. And
The
that
special-
certainly appeared to be more than
The three-hole
36 hours
wonder
from the condition of
edition.
the body.
Yeah.
From the time I examined her early morning on June 15th.
Okay, you can't tell us
Jody.
the time frame as relation to the other injuries.
Pour some
They
out
all
for you,
occur in a
girl.
very short period of time, in your opinion?
Yes, all appear to have occurred in a very short time.
And almost all of the injuries were on the back, at least all the stab wounds, correct?
Correct.
And there was one stab wound kind of on her, it looks like her right shoulder, kind of on the side, or just barely in front.
Oh my
Yes.
God,
That would be
Zach
consistent
reporter
with maybe her
owned a
lifting
comb?
up and the process of the stabbing
Seriously,
continuing, correct?
woman.
It could be that.
What?
And then she had
Pauses.
some injuries on her hand.
There was one inside.
Seriously, did a tarantula style her hair? That fucking like spider's nest, like girl, run a comb through the freaking hair. Does this state have a like?
It is Missouri, Sal.
Does Missouri not have a comb store?
A comb store. She doesn't know how to stand anywhere close enough to a brush.
It's a
over
hairbrush.
there.
Seriously, like, are there giant spiders in Missouri that just crawl around and go up to women's hair and just? Good Lord, woman, just freaking comb.
You know what?
Oh,
Bear-
Lisa Renner. Oh my goodness, that woman.
You make the Dean
she-
Cummings
she's
lawyers
scary.
look.
Oh yeah, the Dean Cummings lawyers. Lordy. Yeah, they stand like down the street from a brush.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they cross the street when they see a hairbrush.
That's your hair is combed up stuff. Oh my God. Hey, Nikki.
I'm sorry to distract. I just that hair is just like
No, that's
what
totally
the-
fine.
What?
That's totally
What
fine.
in the
Nice wound on
tarantula
the ring finger of, I
arachnophobia
believe,
the left
is that?
And there were stab wounds and inside wounds, correct?
Correct.
And stab wounds, as you demonstrated.
I'll
earlier,
give
would
you
be
two
stabbing motion.
guesses.
Yes.
The inside would be more of a slice or a cut.
Yes.
Now, you mentioned rigor mortis. When does that normally start after one passes away?
Rigor mortis starts to set in within several hours. It's determined by the temperature and activity at the time of death, how soon it really starts. But by 6 to 8 hours, rigor mortis is firm. And after 24 to 36 hours, rigor mortis passes away.
Okay, and when you say passes away, tell us what that means.
The body is in the position, but when we move an extremity, it doesn't try to go back to that position. It's flaccid once we move.
And your best guess as to time of death would have been about 36 hours before she was found?
That was a minimum. It could have been longer than that.
That's all one by
Anything further?
No, Your Honor.
May this witness please speak?
Yes, on behalf of the city.
Mr. Perry?
Yes, Judge.
Thank you. Thank you, Cody. You're excused. If you could take
Well,
those
this was
before we pass
2016.
them down.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you're not going to use them in the next one. Correct. Have one over here if you would. You solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in the cause now pending before the court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Whole truth,
Oh,
whole truth,
no.
whole
Getting
truth.
yourself done. So you had a hard one before, is that
Mr.
why?
Julian,
Dave
what's your
Bass,
compensation?
Dave Bass can ejaculate.
So usually that's what we're looking
How long have you done that?
at. Just slightly over 3 years.
What did you do before owning your own business?
I was a detective sergeant here at the Green County Sheriff's Office.
What were your duties as a detective sergeant?
Follow through with investigation crimes, mostly felony crimes.
How long total were you with the sheriff's office?
August 22nd, I believe, 2009 to July 30th of 2015.
And specifically back in June of 2015, what were your duties?
I was a detective sergeant.
Please,
And which unit was that in?
Personal.
And probably like it sounds.
Personal crimes.
All right. Specifically on June 14th of 2015, did you become involved in an investigation involving the death of Claudine Blanchard?
Yes.
How did you initially become involved?
I was called out that night to their residence and began doing negative canvas was what I decided to do.
Were you already on duty when you were called out, or were you?
No.
Okay.
I was off. Yeah.
And was one of your tasks to attend Ms. Blanchard's autopsy?
Yes.
And what date was that?
It was July 15th, 2015.
Maybe June.
I'm sorry, June.
Sorry.
I apologize.
Have you investigated homicides before?
Yes.
And is it common for an investigator to be present there during the autopsy?
Yes.
Why is that?
To collect evidence, record findings, photographs.
And did you take any part in collecting evidence during Ms. Blanchard's autopsy?
Yes.
Sorry.
Can you describe what you did?
Okay, everyone help me. Lilia?
Lilia Di Cotta.
Okay. Because I've been
I
talking to
screwed that up.
Lilia.
I'm sorry.
I've been talking to you a lot, and I've been wondering how to pronounce your name. So if it's Lilia, is that okay?
Lilia?
Lilia? I know.
Or
I
is
don't
it-
think it's I don't think that's it.
Layla, maybe?
Trust me,
It could
I'm
be
not going to
Layla.
dox myself, but my last name, nobody whatsoever will be able to ever pronounce.
Oh,
No.
Leia?
Oh, just Leia?
Is it-
Leia?
Leia.
Leia? Lelia? Okay, I don't know.
Please just
If you
tell us how to pronounce it. I don't want
Okay.
to be offensive.
Yeah, no, we want to say it right. So yeah, that'd be cool. If you could just like spell it out or like pronunciate it out in chat, that'd be awesome. It's really great to see you, by the way. Love you. You're awesome.
From start to finish, basically collected the body contained bag she was in, the seal for that. Her hands were sealed within bags by our crime scene investigators from the scene. So I collected those and they were removed.
Oh,
There was a necklace in her clothing I collected, and then DNA type evidence swabs,
it's a very
pulled
pretty.
hairs from her head, pulled pubic hairs, combed pubic hairs, fingernail clippings from both
It's
hands,
Stray had it right.
and then buckle swabs from her
Lelia.
mouth, vagina, and anus.
Lelia.
And were all of those swabs and different things kind of contained into one kit?
Stray wins. It's
Individually packaged,
Lelia.
yes.
So, and was it in a rape kit?
Yes.
Oh, straight got it.
Who actually took the samples?
Forensic and investigator
Lelia.
Tom Vanberg.
Lovely.
And
Oh,
did you,
that's
were you present when he
Yes.
took them? And then did you yourself collect them?
Yes, after each one, I immediately collected them and put them in their respective package.
Did you make any marking on them so that to document the fact that you were collecting them?
Yes.
And what was that marking?
My initials and my DSN number 704.
And you mentioned buccal swab. What's a buccal swab?
It's basically a swab that will collect DNA samples from whatever it's in contact with the mouth, commonly done.
And also can those be called oral swabs as well?
Yes.
And specifically, did you collect the oral swab of Ms. Blanchard?
Yes.
And what did you do with it after it was handed to you?
Packaged it in its separate box, and then it was placed into my evidence bag. Basically, I put it back in that sexual assault kit, and then later finalized my packaging and submitted it to our property.
He finalizes his package.
Not really.
Who is this SVU?
I'll show you what I've marked as State's Exhibit 43. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
What is that?
That is my handwriting on the oral swab in the time 1312 hours.
And is this oral swab the one that was taken in Blanchard during her autopsy?
Yes.
And is it in the same or substantially same conditions as your markings as it was when you collected it?
Yes.
None of the state received to admit State's Exhibit 43.
No objection.
It'll be received,
And I'll have further questions.
any questions of this witness?
No, Your Honor.
May he be excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So what we're gonna do is before I do send you guys off for a raid, which is gonna be fun, I want to, I think, show everybody the thing that we were talking about earlier because guys, it's fun. We need to show it again. Yeah, dick is fire. The dick is fire, everyone. The dick is fire. So we really do need to show the dick is fire again because
I didn't know she was cheating on me. God.
what are you talking about?
My dick is on fire.
Oh no, oh that. Oh, right. Okay.
I'm kidding.
No.
Something she picked up in prison. Don't worry.
Oh, right. Okay, hang on. I'll share this terms.
Oh.
Alrighty, here we go. So,
Aw, what a cute cup. Look at that smiling face. Look at that pretty hair. Look at that triple chin. Aw.
Okay, so pop base Gypsy Rose Blanchard defends her husband from hate comments. Ryan, don't listen to the haters. Besides, they jealous because you are rocking my world every night. Yeah, I said it. The D is fire. Happy
You
wife,
don't want me to say
happy
that?
life. Oh, you do it. Go on, you say it.
Well, I can't read it.
You can't read that?
You can read it up here. It's the same. Oh, you want me to read? You want to read the whole thing?
Oh,
Ryan, don't listen to the haters. I love you. And you love me. We do not owe anyone anything. Our family is who matters. If you get likes and good comments, great. If you get hate, then whatever, because they don't matter. Ooh, that rhymes. I love you, heart. Besides, they jelly because you are rocking my world every night. Yeah, I said it. The D is fire. Happy wife, happy life.
Yo,
D is on fire.
that D is on fire. Okay, and like, hang on. Who said I gave a damn about what these jealous people say anyway? Haha, now come get it, baby. Hang on, that's him. That's him.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
Oh my God.
Now come and get
Really?
it, baby.
Really?
But does he ejaculate? That's what we need to know.
I'm sure. Look at this. The D is fire. You see how to straight to the back.
Oh my.
I just scared
Oh,
my
she gets
cats out of the
nasty.
room.
And also,
Oh my
by the way, look at the photo of them. And is that
Oh, babe. Oh my
That's
God.
Nicki
Oh,
Minaj
she
in the
is.
background?
Oh, she is so moving on from him and so getting the
Yeah.
black D.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, she is so gonna be with a rapper in the next month.
Oh, look. She's
Gypsy
been
Rose
without
Park.
for 8 years.
Chris
She
Brown
needs
is going to be
to be
railing her
consultant.
within the next 2 to 3 months.
Well, she's only had one other one. Well, Dee, yes, I think, but she's been in women's prison for a while. Maybe she's had something else. Who knows?
Well,
Yeah.
there's no substitute.
She's gonna be riding that Megan Hall train.
Too much information. Look, some people are loving it. Like that's too much information, but she deserves it all. Oh,
She
gosh.
deserves all the D she gets.
She wrote it like she's sending a text message to him for me. Like,
God, Hella, don't get jealous, sweetie.
no, not me. Oh, darling, he's very white. He's very, very
Oh,
white.
okay.
Yeah, my personal trainer. Okay.
Oh,
Why can't
God,
I
this
find a girl who posts the Dearest fire?
He needs some advertising.
Yeah. God, this
No,
woman
I
is so
know, right?
disgusting. Oh my God.
It's pretty awful, isn't it? Like,
Oh my God. It's funny.
yeah, sex tape incoming.
Mhm.
Oh.
It's.
What do you think it's
I'm
going to be
just waiting
called?
for her OnlyFans.
Starry-eyed,
It's-
something. I don't know.
I know. I'm just expecting like Pennywise.
Of course, Grisella's going to say that. Of course, she's going to say that. She needs to be protected. I know she's 32, but she doesn't have that many years of life experience. Yeah, good. Of course, she's going to say that. Like, that woman, I can't handle that woman.
Shelly. Oh my God, Shelly.
Shelly said.
I
She's
made
gonna
the
be in a
Kama Sutra.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah, I asked earlier
it.
what page in the Kama Sutra
Oh.
has an electric wheelchair.
No. I told you it's page 97.
Oh,
This is what
no.
we are. We are degenerates, and I apologize, but I don't.
Oh dear.
Yes, Lelia, we're making a bad impression.
I know.
Yeah, no,
There's
no.
new people here, and I'm trying to like be on my best
Whoa.
behavior.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
No. Scroll up. Oh no,
Okay,
they're too
okay,
big for
we
me.
got it. Who
Too
is
big.
Luca?
They're fake.
I don't know. Who is Luca?
That's
Encore.
Lelia. Or no, that's.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
I thought that was.
This
her-
is the
oh,
best law
Takata,
show on the
sorry.
internet. Yeah, this is kind of a law show, kind of not. This is like
Kind of.
this is the trailer to the law show.
The Wish.com law show.
This
Yes.
is the Wish.com law show, Temu.com law show. No, because Gypsy really said stop dick watching. I need the reality TV show. Yeah, right. Oh dear. Okay, so this is usually what we do on Hearsay for Days on Sunday, but I usually redact all these people. So let's stop this now.
Wah-wah.
The Degenerate Law LLC.
I've accepted
Oh,
it.
it's just
I
a
am
bit
who
of
I am.
fun. It's just a
Yeah.
bit of fun, guys.
So, but here's the fun part, Sal. So, if we keep going with how we're going to read the transcript for this, is
Yeah.
like,
I haven't seen them yet.
as I get to be Gypsy because apparently I play the girls. Apparently,
Mm.
the problem is that you're probably going to have most of the smexy lines.
Look at this. Thanks, Kim Kardashian, for the shout out within this list to my 2017 documentary, HBO's Mummy, Dead and Dearest. Maybe we should unite forces together to make real change within the justice system. Yeah.
So I wouldn't have
Kim
to spend time in
Kardashian
prison.
finished Tiger King. Here's more true crime documentaries to watch next. There you go. She's
Yes.
proud of this.
Every
She's-
single time.
She's proud
Every
of this.
public figure. She is going to burn.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's riding high right now. Yeah, I know. Look, I don't feel like she knows what she's doing. Like,
No,
I
she
feel
doesn't.
Mm.
She has
She
no
doesn't.
PR. And
well, she does. She's got Random House, isn't it? Or Penguin or whoever it is. Like,
no,
she's got this book.
no competent PR.
Well, no, clearly
Yeah.
they really need to rein her in because she's gonna say something. Well, she already had just said something really dumb, but she's gonna say more really dumb stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's going to say something that's going to piss somebody off, and it's going to just
Oh
fall
yeah,
completely apart.
Yeah, it's her
It's not
boyfriend
awesome.
who has no experience is giving her advice.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
and he looks like a popular dude. Not to
Yeah,
be
he
mean,
knows a lot about
but-
human interaction.
Yeah, I mean, like
Right,
that's
so-
why he's and sorry, Sal. That's why he's hooking up with women in prison, right?
burn.
I mean, hey, he got laid.
I mean, yeah, he did. I mean, there's a
She did
chance
get-
now. There's
well, yeah,
always a
she
chance.
did. She definitely
Yeah,
put out.
Few
There's no
years,
question
but
about
the
that.
plan can work.
Yes. So keep
Just-
going with Jody.
Yeah, you just gotta. Well,
Exactly.
she's not getting out.
Yeah, just persistent.
Jody, yeah, unless I change the law, she's not getting out.
Exactly. All right. So tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern on Salvador Dali's channel. Make sure that you're there for that. Neil Gordon
Yeah.
Publishing House. Dave Bass, you need to stick around because on Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern, we have Becky Mails. That is where we do the dramatic readings of the Becky Boo email dump. And that is set up
Dutoya.
already. We have Becky. Let me see the Becky Mouse one. Where is it?
Trust me,
So many links.
make
So
conjugals
many
great
links,
again
guys.
has been proposed as my platform.
Yeah, make conjugals great again. Exactly. So Becky Mails is on. Don't miss this week's Becky Mails. Oh, I can't even find the link for that. Just subscribe. Just subscribe. Okay, so that is on for sure. And we have
Yeah,
also we have I've already told you about tomorrow. The other thing we have is I have already set up tomorrow's stream for this. So Gypsy Rose Blanchard, tomorrow, 24, murder trial.
I wrote this description.
He wrote this description, and the problem with it is that it was too long. So I was like, okay, start again.
Set her up for that one.
It was too long. It was far too long. So, histories. Don't miss this
Hopefully
week's
it wasn't
of
hard.
Becky Mails. Okay, I'll put the Becky Mails one in.
Oh, you walked into that, sweetie.
Oh, boo.
That's what she did.
Boo. Yeah.
You walked into it.
Back it up.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Okay, so today the eggplant was fire. Oh, hey, Alex Sledge. How's it going? Okay, so today it was fire. The D was fire. We're watching again tomorrow, same time, 6 p.m. Eastern. Gypsy Rose Blanchard, 2024 Matricide murder trial, and Saga review. Let's go. Everyone put that into your calendars. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to raid an Irish dude called, let me just check his name. Make sure he's still going too. Yes, his name's Irish Demon, and he is talking about the defendant attacks and KO's judge. So
yes.
you get to go in there and see what is happening with the KOing of the judge. Get in there, guys, please, and say EU raid, because I'd like to make friends with this dude. He actually was streaming also Judge Middleton the other day, I noticed. There's no one else really streaming right now. It's dead air out there. So let's go. Raid the Irish? Yeah, let's go.
And say hello.
And say hi. All right, sweet. Awesome. And I'll see you tomorrow on Dali's first at 4 p.m. and then on this channel at 6 p.m. More Gypsy Rose, more D's on fire, more bitches dead, more everything. Love you all. It's been fantastic. And I'll see you over in the Irishman's chat. Thanks, everybody.
Have you ejaculated yet?
God.